People will come and be like, wow, it's so colorful, it's bright,
yeah,
it's like,
same.
I feel fun and happy. But when you just stop and you're present, then you're like, oh.
There's more. Which is like, I love it when people pinpoint that because that's exactly what I'm doing. I've been making art since I was a child. I would always color and draw and like just make work. I found a photo of myself that was like 1 year old and my parents in the back wrote like, this is my artist face. So I guess I was like showing signs of that. I actually grew up in the Dominican Republic and I moved to the United States officially when I was like 8 or 9.
We're sitting in your studio and the first thing that people notice when they see the work is the color.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about the DR, I was like, oh, I could see like a young girl being very influenced by like the sounds and the colors.
And my relationship to color was really interesting because when I was 9 years old, my mom passed away. In like Latin American, like Catholic countries, a form of mourning is like people wear black for 9 days. My grandma actually extended that and she wore like black for 10 years. And I started associating like that color to, oh, she's paying respect for her by always wearing this color. Mm-hmm. I think when I was in high school, my grandma told me, oh, I'm gonna start wearing color again. And at first, I didn't understand it because I was so used to her wearing black that I thought, oh, does that mean that she's letting my mom go? She told me that actually she dreamt that my mom was telling her to wear color.
Yeah.
A lot of like my paintings are in conversation with like my dreams, my spirituality. And there's elements in like all the work that I do that like highlight certain ancestors. I wanted to highlight their life's work. My last body of work I sequenced a lot. It was kind of an ode to my great grandmother who was a seamstress. Or like my mom was an architect, so I'll mount my paintings in cinder blocks sometimes, which is a form of material used to build homes in the Caribbean.
Right.
My painting practice tends to be in conversation with surrealism and abstract expressionism, and also these Afro-diasporic frameworks, and I'm focusing a lot on spirituality right now. I was studying abroad in Brazil. I was studying how the Orisha were depicted, and oftentimes throughout the diaspora, Orisha are personified. But for me, their energy doesn't manifest as people to me. I was really inspired by sacred artistic elements connected to the Orisha. So the Orisha are connected to forces of nature, color combinations, and the color theory that I follow are colors that come from like sacred combinations connected to Orisha. In this particular body of work, I focused a lot on the undoing of the self, like understanding who you are in relationship to environments that you're around.
Let's look at some of the work. Get out of your head.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Where'd this come from?
When I graduated, I went back to New York, and that was really a hard time because I didn't have a studio, I didn't have a place to work. And when I came back, I just had a lot of imposter syndrome. That imposter syndrome was so strong, I didn't make work for a year.
It's interesting too because we're in this time of a global pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So when I saw Get Out of Your Head, I was wondering if this was made during
COVID?
Yeah, during quarantine
no.
time.
It happened last year, and for me, last year felt like a quarantine because I was very isolated. So when COVID hit, I was like, I guess I prepped for this. When you're already in an isolated place and you feel energetically that everybody's out and about around you, like, it's so difficult. But now I'm like, wow, a lot of people are going through this. I'm not exceptionalizing the experience really. We're all in it at the same time.
Yeah.
It kind of like healed how I was feeling last year.
Because you understood so deeply what others are going through that
I
you felt
understood it
like you could be
more.
present for some folks that you know, friends, family, loved ones, because you're like, I actually know what you're going through because I was just there.
The empathy kicked in 1,000. Like,
I love that you make your work personable. It's not just your passion, it is your life. The spiritual work that you do and being guided in that way to make the work.